Hello everybody, this is Yahusha in the Productions. Apply YaHUaH's word in your life, deny yourself daily, pick up his take and follow Yahusha music all day, every day. YaHUaH is Yahusha in the flesh. So let me clear it once more. Because it seems like all the time when people using this YaHUaH scriptures or the Sefer, only that type of scriptures, then it seems like from, hey man, YaHUaH is just a son, or YaHUaH is in Trinity, or Yahusha is in Trinity. Yahusha is just only a vessel. It's just like this and that. You see, and they kind of compare it with the Christianity stuff, and they said, oh yeah, because of the Christianity stuff, it is not real then anymore. So because the YaHUaH scripture or the Sefer said otherwise. So yeah, we gonna stick to that because that has the restored names in that stuff. Yeah, but still it is a translation from a KJV, and a KJV is not the translation what we should search for. We search for the Abariton. And what is standing there in the Abariton? That Yahusha is the Father. And let me show you what it's all about. Because Yahusha, you said, my beloved brother, John Truth, you know, you was always good and till this video, you know. But yeah, we still love you all the way, no matter what, you know, because I see that the rule, and let me show you the scriptures before I even gonna speak out to anybody, you know. So look, like I said, because I want to go strict what the scripture said, not what I just think or whatever. No, look, in 1 Timothy 4, 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1 to 2, it said, but the Ruach distinctly says that in the later that times some shall fall away from the belief, allowing attention to the misleading ruachs and teachings of demons, speaking lies in hypocrisy. So, hypocrisy, you see, in hypocrisy. So, having been branded on their own conscience. You see, so, but the Ruach distinctly says that in a later time some shall fall away from the belief, paying attention to misleading ruachs and teaching of demons, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having been branded on their own conscience. You see? So, let me read one more for you so that you understand what I'm saying. From they shall deliver you up. You see? Affliction will kill you, and you shall be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many shall stumble, and they shall deliver up one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise up, and lead many astray. And because of the increase in the lawlessness, the love of many shall become cold. But he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved. And this good news of the reign shall be proclaimed in all the world as it is witnessed to all the nations, and then the end shall come. You see? So it seems like we're living now in the end. Because the false prophets is coming in, and all the way they're believing in their own things, like what this just said, you see, from but the Ruach distinctly says that at the later time some shall fall away from the belief, and paying attention to the misleading spirits and teachings of demons, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having been branded on their own conscience. You see? So here, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1 till 17, this is more clear up. From as to the coming of our Master Yahusha, the Messiah, and our gathering together to Him, we ask you, brothers, not to become easily unsettled in mind or troubled either by the YaHUaH or by word or by letter, as it is from us, as if in the day of YaHUaH has come. Let no one deceive you in any way, because the falling away is to come first. Let me read it again. Because the falling away has to come first. It seems like we're now in that statement now, you see? So that's why this is happening. But hold on, I gotta quote more of the stuff, what is happening. So, and the man of the lawlessness is to be revealed to the son of destruction, who opposite and excelled him above all that is called YaHUaH or that is worshipped, so that he sits on YaHUaH in the dwelling places of YaHUaH, showing himself that he is YaHUaH. Do you not remember that I told you this while I was still with you? You see what Yahusha was saying? Wake up. And now you know what restraint for him to be revealed in this time. For the secret of lawlessness is already at work. You see, when he was just speaking there, it was already at work. Only until he who now restrained comes out of the midst, and then the lawless one shall be revealed, whom the master shall consume with the YaHUaH of his mouth, and bring to naught with the manifestation of his coming. The coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Satan, or Satan, Gadriel, Halal, Satanel. You see? With all power and signs and wonders of falsehood. Let me read it again. The coming of the lawless one according to the working of Satan. So what the person will do? With all power and signs and wonders of falsehood. And with all decided of unrighteousness in those perishing, because they did not receive the love of truth. I cannot believe you, brother. In order for them to be saved, and for this reason YaHUaH sent them in a working of delusion. You know, working in the delusion, my brother and my sisters, who believe that YaHUaH is not Yahusha. For them to believe that the falsehood, in order that all should be judged who did not believe the truth, but have delighted in the unrighteousness. But we ought to give thanks to YaHUaH always for you, brothers, beloved, by the Master, because YaHUaH from the beginning chose you to be saved in the set apartness of the YaHUaH, and believe in the truth unto which he called you by our good news, or the Basora of Shalom, for the obtaining of the esteem of our Master Yahusha HaMashiach. So then, brothers, stand fast and hold to the tradition which you were taught, whether by word or by our letter, and our Master Yahusha HaMashiach himself, and our YaHUaH and Father. You see, because you said, yeah, the Father is separated because the Father is the Father and the Son is the Son. Okay, and why they say separated again with YaHUaH? Now you said yes, almost like a Trinity, but it is not. Why do you think? Okay, well, let me read it further, and I can explain. Master Yahusha HaMashiach himself, and our YaHUaH and our Father, who has loved us and given us everlasting encouragement and a good exception, toch favor, encourage your heart and establish you in every good word, and work. You see? So let me show you in the scriptures again. If I go to Philippians, one of my favorites, you know, chapter 2, verse 7, I guess. Yes. So look, but empty himself, taking the form of a servant, and came to be in the likeness of man. You see? And having been found in fashion as a man. And he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, and that even of a stake. YaHUaH therefore has highly excelled him, and given him the name which is above every name. Why? So now YaHUaH just say, oh yeah, I give my son a name, and it's above my name because it is above every name. You see? You cannot serve two YaHUaHs because there's only one YaHUaH. And that is why it's called a God. You can say, yeah, a woman and a man and a woman go together as a relationship and they become one. Yes, there's another sort of one. There's more stick together stuff. That not means a God in that way. That's why Yahusha always said, I was before Abraham, I am. You know? So, okay, let me explain it more. YaHUaH therefore has highly excelled him and give him the name which is above every name. That at that name of Yahusha every knee should bow, of those in heaven, Shamahim, and on those on earth, on those under the earth, and on every tongue shall confess that Yahusha HaMashiach is the master of the esteem of YaHUaH the Father. You see? So now you say from, okay, so because people in heaven, who's sitting there in heaven? YaHUaH. So now you can say that YaHUaH is going to bow down to his knees to Yahusha then? Yes, that's what the scripture just said, but no. Because Yahusha is the Father himself, YaHUaH. You know? Because Shah means lamb. You see? So YaHUaH lamb. That's why even in YaHUaH, in the pictographic, when you see YaHUaH, behold the nail behind the stake is standing there as well. The name from Yahusha in the name of YaHUaH himself. You know? So, and yeah, so let me read more. So for that, let us be in mind which you will also insert in the Messiah, who is being from the from of YaHUaH, and did not regard quietly with YaHUaH a matter to be grasped, but empty himself and taking the form of a servant, that came to be a likeness of man. You see? So, you said, yeah, he's just like as a man. Okay, yeah. Is he just like man? I am just like as man. You are too. Everybody here, but Yahusha is not. You know why I say that? I'm not ending to the scriptures, brother or sister. You know why? Because he's not coming out of a sperm. He's not coming out of a man. He's not even coming out of a woman in that particular way of how we all come out of a sperm, troch the woman and stuff. No, because YaHUaH sitting there in the womb by himself. He said, I put my ruach inside in that room and let myself prepare a body. Let me show you that scripture where he said that. In Colossians chapter 1 verse 15 to 19, and said, who is the likeness of the invisible YaHUaH? The firstborn of all creation, because in him were created all that are in the heaven and on the earth, visible and invisible, whether the thrones or rulership or principalities or authorities, all have been created through him and for him, and he is before all, and in him all hold together, and he is the head of the body, the assembly, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that he might become the one who is first in all, because in him all completeness was well pleased to dwell. You see? You cannot deny it, but if he was before all, before everything was created, who can do that? Only YaHUaH. So YaHUaH has already embodied there. you know. And the same thing from Genesis chapter 18, when he was walking in the garden there, and Adam and Eve was running away and he said, "Hey Adam, where are you?" "Yes, I'm just here hiding myself, and I heard your footsteps, so I was scared and I hide myself, and I was ashamed of myself because I'm naked and stuff. Who told you that you are naked?" and blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. You see, so there you have it. So he was there also walking already, because he was there in the beginning, before mankind. And that's why Enoch saw his face there as well. He saw him. Because YaHUaH is invisible, we all know that. And he make him visible to the body what he make for himself. So let me show you what the scripture just said. In Talahim, Psalms 40 verse 6, it said, "Prepare me a body." In the Barit, Rashum, First Covenant's writings, YaHUaH is Yahusha, to the esteem of YaHUaH, Haba, the Father. Sacrifice and offering you did not desire, but a body you have prepared me. A seed and smoke offering and crime offering have you not required. What it said? Exactly. He prepared for himself a body. And wherefore we have came into the world, and he said, "Sacrifice and offering you would have no delight, but a body you have prepared me." You see, in Hebrews chapter 10 verse 5. So where you want to go? You know? So if I go to Adam and Eve, what you so like about your YaHUaH scriptures and whatever, it said it said this. Let me show you. By the YaHUaH scriptures, First Adam and Eve, chapter 24, verse 4. And it said, "Then the word of YaHUaH came to Adam and said to him, O Adam, as you have shed your blood, so will my ben." You see, now they say, because YaHUaH scripture is denying that YaHUaH is Yahusha, and that's why you are maybe deceived, because this is a demon, the Ruach, lead people astray, because there are many prophets do signs and wonders and lead people astray, as you have seen what I have shown you in this video already, you know. Let me remind you once more, if you don't understand it again, you know. You see, but the Ruach specifically says that in the later time some shall fall away from the belief and paying attention to the misleading spirits and teachings of demons, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having been branded on their own conscience. You see, and YaHUaH scriptures is one of them. So you see, so you kind of see why, because I can show you another scripture that is not talking about this stuff, but talk like how it is supposed to be talked, you know. So then the word of YaHUaH came to Adam and said to him, "O Adam, as you have shed your blood, so will my ben shed his own blood when he become flesh of your descendant. And as you died, O Adam, so also will he die. And as you built an altar, so also will I make for you an altar on the earth. And as you offered your blood on it, so will I offer my ben's blood on an altar on the earth." You see? Okay. And if I search this stuff on internet, of course, many scriptures say the same thing what I just said, that YaHUaH himself shared his blood, you know. Because yeah, I must show you, because you already know. I'm gonna show you what's up with it, because yeah, I got a lot of stuff I already know. Hold up, bear with me. No, not this one. So man, hold up. Yes, this one. Here. Adam and Eve, chapter 24, verse 4. Then came the word of YaHUaH to Adam and said to him, "O Adam, as you have shed your blood, so will I shed my own blood when I become flesh of your descendants. And as you died, O Adam, so also will I die, as you will build an altar. So also will I make for you an altar of the earth. And as you offered your blood on it, so will I offer my blood on the altar on the earth. You see? And everybody said, yeah, YaHUaH cannot die. Yes, we know, we have seen that, because after 3 days he was waking up. He can only do that if you're not gonna die, so he was asleep. And that's why he said about Lazarus the same thing, about everybody who looks like that to our eyes, they are just asleep. You know? And that was the same thing what YaHUaH did. He was asleep because he was doing a mission. You remember in Revelations? He was going in his sleep. He was taking the keys of the Sheol or hell, you know? And later he given that key to Peter or Kepha. And as well the key of the Shamahim of heaven. You know? That's what he just did. And because he was raising himself from the dead. Who can do that only? YaHUaH. But yeah, apparently Yahusha did that. There again. Because Yahusha is YaHUaH. You see? And as well, let me read this for you. Because behold the nail, behold the hand. You already know. Even your teaching was the same stuff. Same mindset. That we all have. Because the scripture said so. Yahusha said so. The Ruach HaKodesh said so. You know. And not the demons or whatever. You know. We all can make mistakes, of course. We humans. No doubt about it. But you cannot deny it that YaHUaH is Yahusha in the flesh. There's no mistakes. There's a quiet statement where you stand on. But I don't want to go against anybody who's not believing in that stuff. Because you know what the scripture just said? Look. Before I gonna read this stuff. It said, let me see which one it was. Oh yeah, here. It said, as it is written, yeah, the whole 1 Corinthians chapter 14. It's quite interesting, you know. But verse 26, it said, what then is it, brothers? Whenever you come together, each one has a psalm, or tahalim, or praise, or, you know, has a teaching, has a tongue, has a revelation, has an interpretation. Let all be done for upbuilding. If anyone speak in tongues, let there be 2 or the most 3, each in turn, and let one interpret. And if there is no interpreter, let him be silent in the assembly, and let him be speak to himself and to YaHUaH. And let 2 or 3 prophets speak, and let the other discern. And if there shall be a revelation to another who sits by, let the first be silent. For you are all able to prophesy one by one, so that all learn and all be encouraged. And the ruach of the prophets are subjected to the prophets. For YaHUaH is not YaHUaH of disorder, but peace. As it in the assemblies of the set apart ones. Let your woman... Okay, you see? So there you have it. You see, so that's what we must do. Upbuilding each other, listen to each other, and exchange for iron sharpens iron and that kind of stuff. So yeah, everybody has his own prophecy, has his own stuff, what YaHUaH has revealed it to you. You know, so if YaHUaH has revealed it to you, that you think from, oh yeah, YaHUaH is not Yahusha in the flesh, okay, it is then on you. But the scripture is very 100 million trillion solid strong that he is the creator himself, because everything was made by him and everything was made for him. So now I'm gonna read that stuff. What I just earlier said is like this. So from yeah, behold the nail, behold the hand, YaHUaH on the stake, and who's only on the stake? We don't see YaHUaH on the stake. But because he's invisible, so he make him visible to a body who is prepared for himself. What we have read in Talmudim chapter 40 verse 6, you know, and in Hebrew verse 10 verse 5, you know, and what we have read in the Adam and Eve chapter 24 verse 4, you know. So here, Here's a confirmation van, and I shall pour out of the house of Dawood on the inhabitants of Yahushalom, or Jerusalem, a ruach of favor and plowing, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourns for his only son. You see? They're gonna show more for him. Like, oh man. As one his more for when your son or daughter, you know? So as more for him, as one mourns for his only son. And there shall be bitterness over him, as a bitterness over the firstborn. Who was the firstborn? YaHUaH. Because he was a self-existent one. He was born in the first place, and then he created all and everything. He was the one who created everything. He's the creator. So he created himself, the self-existent one. You know? He said he is not created, he's not created himself. No, why do you think he's here? He created everything. So he was first created himself, because he was a self-existent one, and that means nothing was let him make, because he was the maker himself. He make himself, you know. So that is in Zechariah chapter 12 verse 10. And again, behold the nail, the stake, the hand, you know, that behold the revealed breath, that is the hay, and a yud is the arm, hand, work, a deed, a worship, you know. And who was the hand? Who was the arm? Yahusha, because he's the work, and he's the deed, he's the worship, and he's the arm of YaHUaH, you see? And he's sitting on the throne of YaHUaH. How he can sit on the throne of YaHUaH? If there's two thrones in the Shamin? No, there's only one throne. And that is why it's like this. He sent his arm in a womb from Maria, and let his arms come out of Maria, and that arm is walking among us, and that arm teaching us how to do, and then later he was finished, and that's why he said, I can return back to the Father, the hands, he said. Or otherwise he really just said, I can return to my place, to my stool, and the world is my footstool, so I can sit down on my throne again back, because I can return, my arm is gonna return to my complete body. That is really what he just say, you know. And that's why he was Philippians chapter 2 verse 7 said from he was coming as a man, as a servant. He was taking all his power on the side. Otherwise we can never go to him. Otherwise we never can palau, know how to palau, or nothing at all, you know. And you said, yeah, Moses is also an alua, yeah. Is he was born of the ruach? No, he's not born of the ruach. He was born of a sperm of another human being who have intercourse with each other in bed and stuff, and they coming out a child. And you know, you see, because even the giants and the Malachians call it aluas and stuff and etc. You know, because that means judges. You know. So there you have it. And Yahusha is the invisible Alua. Who was the invisible Alua? YaHUaH itself. So he make him visible through the body. Because the body is YaHUaH. You know? Because YaHUaH said, hey man, nobody can see me. Okay, let me see myself them to the people so that they can see me. And see my face. You know? Because Abraham was talking with him as well in Genesis 18. You know? Face to face with him. With the other two men there. You know? But standing there only YaHUaH in that scripture, in that Genesis 18. But how we can talk and see him face to face then, and sit with him on the tree and eat him some bread and cookies and stuff and milk before he was go? Yeah, because he make him already before everything was made, and everything was made by him. You remember that stuff? Yeah, that kind of stuff. Because it is Yahusha already there. So Yahusha is YaHUaH. Okay, here we go. We're not ready yet. You see? So follow Yahusha. Yahusha said unto them, Amunah, Amunah, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. You see? That's why he say that. Because everything was made by him and everything was made for him. You already know. So without the controversy, great is the mystery of the Kadushim. Alua was manifested in the flesh, justified in the Ruach, seen of the Malachians, preaches unto the other nations. Believe it on into the world, and receive it up into the esteem. And you already know, YaHUaH gives no esteem to nobody else, but only to himself. Why he give it to Yahusha then? Because he give it to himself. Because Yahusha is YaHUaH. He is the right arm. He is the stake. He is the behold. And he is the nail. Whose are the fathers, and whom's as the concerning of the flesh? Messiah came, who is all over, YaHUaH, and Baruch forever, Amunah. You see? In Romans chapter 9 verse 5. And here we go, the one of the famous, and the people who not read the old scriptures, but the old scripture said as well from in the beginning, YaHUaH created the Shamahima on the arrest, you know. And that's also what Yahusha just said, well, everything was made by him and everything was made for him. Before everything was made, he was. And before Abraham, I was. You know, so that is this. In the beginning was the word, or the bar. Under the bar or the word was with YaHUaH. You see the Alvatal. Who's the Alvatal? Yahusha. You know, and I'm gonna show you what the Alvatal really means. It's not only the head and the tail. I'm gonna show you. So, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with YaHUaH. And YaHUaH was the word. Okay, let me show you. I've broken this stuff already down about the Alpha and the Tau, from the beginning to the end, and the end to the beginning. That's why Yahusha said, I am the beginning, and I am the end, and I'm the end and the beginning. I'm the Alpha, I'm the Tau, and the Tau and the Alpha. Here it is, and then you understand, and then we go further. Gonna say it is spiritually, and we're gonna say it physically in the word. Why Yahusha is the Alpha Tau. Let me explain why he's the Alpha Tau, physically and spiritually. Spiritually, we know he is the chief shepherd. You already know, you know. And we know also that is on him, he is the father, you know. From he is the seal, you know. So that's the Tau. So yeah, and physically we must write it down, and then he write it down as Aleph. And you already know what it is. Aleph. That is the oaks, the strands, the leader. You see? So, let me go through this all, and then you all can see what I'm talking about, man. So that YaHUaH is Yahusha in the flesh, and that Yahusha is the Father himself, and that Yahusha is the Sabbath physically and spiritually. So here, Aleph means he is the chief shepherd, and Bet means he is the house of YaHUaH, and Gamel, he is the lifter of my head, and Dalet means he says, I am the door. And Hey means He says, I am the life. And Uah, he is who joined us to our Father. And Zin, or Zen, means he is the harvest. And Chat, or Chat, or Chat, that means he became the sins for us. He became sin for us. And that means he put himself in a container. And Yod of Yud means he is the arm of YaHUaH. And Kaf means no one can take us from his hand. And Lamet means he is the good shepherd. And Mam or Mem means whoever believes in him shall never thirst. And and Nun means as Moses lifted up his serpent in the wilderness, even so was he lifted up, so we could live. You see, and Samak means he upholds us. And Ayin means he has made the Father known. And Pa means he is the word of YaHUaH. Tasad means He's our one we wait for. And the Kuf, He is the light of our world. And Rash means He is the head of the assembly. And Sham means He is the power of YaHUaH. And Tav means, like I said in the beginning, on Him YaHUaH the Father has set His seal. You see? So when I say it like in the whole line all together, it seems it's like this. He is the chief shepherd, He is our house of YaHUaH, He is the lifter of my head, He says I am the door, He says I am the life, He is what joins us to our Father, He is the harvester, He became sins for us, He put Himself in a container body for us, He is an arm of YaHUaH, no one can take us from His hand, He is the good shepherd, whoever believes in Him shall never thirst. As Moses lifted up his shepherd in the wilderness, even so was He lifted up, so called live. He upholds us, He was made the Father known, He is the word of YaHUaH, He is the one we wait for, He is the light of our world, He is the head of our assembly, He is the power of YaHUaH, on Him YaHUaH the Father has rest His seal. You see? So that is what is standing there, man. So that's what it is.